Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. If you can hear the sound of my voice, this is Homegirl I Need Love, and we are up to episode 7, lucky number 7. And today I wanted to talk about the subject of deserving, you being deserving of taking up space and being heard. This is something very personal to me and something I've been sort of kind of afraid to talk about for some time. But what I realized today is that throughout my whole life journey, it is something that I have dealt with from a childhood, teen, young adult till now. And in this moment now, I can wholeheartedly say that this is the happiest I've been, and this is one of the most vocal times I've been in my life. So, as you come into this space, I welcome you. Welcome to January's Flowers. If you're listening on the podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're listening right now to the live, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, with these Homegirl I Need Love segments, if you ever feel compelled to chat, comment, react, you can. That's partly why I made it so that we all can communicate on our personal growth, spiritual growth, and the journey that we're going through. But if you cannot respond, comment, or chat, you are always perfectly welcome to listen. Okay? So, where do I begin? This is definitely going to be a story time. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Unique. Hello, Q. Hello, Pop. Hello, Sim. I welcome you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, where do I begin with this? I guess I'll start back as a small child. This kind of touches bases with being deserving of taking up space. Now, as a kid, which is so interesting, I kind of feel like recently I've reconnected with my childlike self, and a part of that was definitely being vocal and standing up for myself. That energy was kind of taken from me. I want to say maybe around adolescence, or what is it called, puberty, whatever, going through that stage, not really understanding much, not really knowing which way to go in life. I feel like the taking up space part was kind of removed from me. And also, being in a realm of feminine energy, you're kind of raised in the reality of take up less space. Some people even connected it to body positions. When I went to the university, I took a few psychology courses and I learned a lot that American society puts on feminine energy that I didn't realize was a part of taking up less space. The crossing of the legs, the crossing of the arms, the not speaking back to everything. You know what I'm saying? Or not having a comment for everything, almost do what you're told type of thing, which is reminiscent of being a child. But it was a lot of that resting in feminine energy kind of diminishing space in my reality. And then I went through a point in life where I said, well, let me kind of, go into the masculine energy, being more rowdy, being more, upbeat and not really following the rules. And then that brought about a different energy as well. But going back to being a child, I was often told, don't say that, don't do that. It's not right what you just said, it's not right what you did. But in my eyes, I never said anything that society would deem bad or that the world would deem bad. Let me give you an example. So let's say you are a child and you're told to clean your room. So you go and you clean your room, and after you clean your room, maybe you go and, color or, do something else to entertain yourself. And then let's say the adult figure in your life comes back to you and say, "Well, what you doing now?" "Well, I'm entertaining myself." "What does it look like?" That would be a response, right? And then immediately I would get a punishment for it. So consistently being punished for being heard made me to, well, simply take away being heard and you won't be punished anymore. So it was a point in my life, which is so odd because I've mentioned it before on this channel, is that a lot of people thought I was a mute. Halfway through elementary school and somewhat middle because I just wouldn't respond. I wouldn't say anything because I was kind of reinforced to say something, you're going to get a negative reaction. So stop saying anything. And I just stopped saying anything. I stopped taking up space. I stopped being heard, to the point that the energy I was giving out was I didn't need to take up space. I didn't need to be heard. On holidays, on birthdays, I was often given the least because I wasn't the one who would say anything, who would be heard. You see what I'm saying? When it came to me finally dating and interacting with men, I think I was a senior in high school, and I was talking to a guy who didn't even go to my school. He went to another school, very vocal. I really do believe that's why, and I know everybody doesn't believe in zodiac signs, but I do believe somewhat in the outline of them, and I've always attracted Sagittarian men. And I think to this date now, I understand why. Back in high school, senior year, I attracted this guy. He went to another school and he was a Sagittarius male, up and coming rapper. They all seem to have that in common, but he had something about himself that I wanted in me. Very vocal, very flashy, if you will, very funny. I'm very sociable, you know. And I think that's why I attracted even certain friends is because they had something in them that I wanted. And it's like I just couldn't connect that, Jan. You just need to start to speak up and you just need to start taking up space again. I didn't understand it. Me being quiet, often not having responses, often not having, I guess, the strength to speak up. I was in a few DV relationships. I was often, physically, mentally, verbally mistreated by so called friends, so called family, because I had the reputation of being the one who would not speak, who would not take up space, who would not. Oh, she won't. Oh, she won't. Oh, she'll do it, as in cleaning up, as in taking care of small children. At one point, I was always the one who would animal sit or babysit because animals never did me wrong. They just hungry. And when somebody, watch a movie, cuddle up with them, animals never did me wrong. Small children, even though they act up, I learned very young that the youth really just want somebody to listen to them. Kids, I'm telling y'all, kids, we just sitting there talking, and I don't know why, even to this day, I somewhat feel like I connect to conversations with them because they don't get a lot of the stuff that go on earth either, neither do I. And a lot of stuff they say be making sense to me. Like they be like, well, why would so and so say this and then they go do that? And I be feeling the same way. Like it's like the world was almost easier to navigate with me being quiet and with me taking up very little space. But I was like a plant in a container and my roots were cramped because even though I was not taking up a lot of space and I was not being heard, I was navigating easier. You know what I'm saying? I was very much so out the way, but I was not growing. I was not growing as a person. I was not growing as an energy. I was not growing as a spirit. I was not growing in life, even though everyone always knew I wanted to perform. I thank God for those teachers I had in theater, in school, the outside worldly people that I met because I really did not think I was worthy of anything. I didn't even think I was worthy of me. I was down bad. I just did not think I was worthy of taking up any space or being heard at all. When it came to me, and I say it all the time, I thought Peter Piper picked a lesser. I thought I was a lesser in a lot of the situations because I was always told, oh, well, what do you know? You're just this. Or what could you know? You're just that. Like, I always accepted when people took, you know, their negative words. It was almost like I was a sponge for negativity. Even though, if I look back on all my years of life, it was people trying to pour positivity in me, but I was a sponge for negativity and negative entities, people, persons love that because you accept what they're. I was a trash bag. You can put anything into me. I was accepting of everything negative that people told me, but even when the most positive compliments, girl, you're beautiful, girl, you smart, you this and that, it never landed. Even though I could look on paper, old school records, talk to teachers that I see in the mall and around the way. You always had a light. You always was this and that. But the thing is, and I'm not gonna hold y'all. I did a lot of that scholastic being the best student, trying to be the best child, trying to be the best sibling, trying to be the best girlfriend. I did that for them. No shade. You know what I'm saying? Even though, scholastically, I'm glad I was trying to prove something because it helped me along the way, but it really wasn't for me. I was trying to get other people to finally, I guess, see me. Do you know what I'm saying? I wanted people to kind of validate me. And shout out to Janice. She's a coworker of mine who I recently spoke to a couple of days ago, and she told me something. And then I'm gonna read a couple of y'all comments. She told me that I was manipulating people. And I said, well, what you mean? I did everything they wanted. I did everything they liked. I always complimented them. I never told them they was wrong. And she said that's manipulation. You were doing, I guess a disservice to them by not, always being honest, by not always telling them this and that, by you feeding ego, you did a disservice to them. But I said to her, I said, but they wouldn't have liked me. All of them gone now, but I said they wouldn't have liked me then. And she said that needed to happen sooner. The connection needed to be cut sooner, but I was basically feeding a beast that needed to be taken down. I diminished my voice because I wanted others to be heard. I already felt like, I have no purpose here, so let me big up everyone else. And she said, you were manipulating them. Because truth be told, like she told me, I already saw them for who they are. That's why a lot of these people don't get why I haven't gone back to them yet. Janice was not lying, y'all. I already saw who they were. The toxic energy, the nasty, snarly, vile people they were, still to this day. But I always thought if I continue to give up myself and give them all my energy, make them laugh, make them smile, you know, give up my days, give up my peace, that one day they'll be like, oh, I want to change my ways. And Jane, you did this and that. And I was always hopeful, but I never did I ever think that me pouring into them and their ways would not help them change, but it would continue to allow them to be the same way. I didn't get it. But now in this moment, I see me walking away has woke a lot of people up. No one expected the girl with no voice to walk away. No one never expected the wallflower to walk away. No one expected the trash bag, the trash can to be the one to walk away and never come back. Oh, you can't survive without us. Oh, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing without us. Da, 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 da. But I haven't looked back, and I have never had this much peace in my life. I'm gonna keep going, but I want to read some of the comments. Hey Tamia, hey Jan, my mom has the same thing. Sagittarius men love her, and she's an Aquarius. Yeah, I'm surrounded by Sagittariuses in outside the family, all over. Hey Keisha, hey Juvie, Tamia said, yes, as a teacher, my students will talk my ear off, but I make a point to listen to them. Children are like adults. They have their own thoughts and opinions. And see, that's the powerful part. Because I feel like, and I know we can't erase time and things like that, but I feel like if I was kind of told to continue to be vocal and continue to express myself, things would have went differently. But everything moves at the time it's supposed to. So, I honor where I am now. But to me, that's a beautiful thing that you do listen to them. And I several teachers, male and female, even a few security guards at the schools I went to, that really poured into me in a different way. I didn't even realize until recently how often I would eat lunch with the teachers. I never connected to kids doing lunch cafeteria time. In high school, yeah, it was different. I was down there a lot. But like middle school, elementary school, I was never with the kids. I didn't get them. I didn't understand them. But like it was this one security guard who used to give me Essence magazines, and it was one that I loved, and it had Lil Kim on the front of it. And Lil Kim was so sad. She had like a raincoat on and some cheetah print boots for anybody who know. I think it came out in like 2000 or something. And at this time, I really didn't know Kim, but it was something about her that drew me to her. And she used to give me these Essence magazines, and she was like, she used to get them from her hair salon or whatever. And she would just yammer away at me about all her problems and stuff throughout her day and men and talk about her kids. And of course, I really couldn't relate. I was a child myself, but something about her energy felt more genuine than the kids I was around. It felt more genuine than the conversations I was having outside of school with people. I don't know like if it was appropriate. But I do thank her, and I think a lot of adults who gravitated towards me back then. Hey, 93, welcome. 93 said to me, and much love to you, Queen. Thank you for educating our youth. God bless you. Yes. I come from a family of teachers, principals. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Sometimes teachers are the only form of love kids get. Oh my God, y'all, I was a TA. I guess I can tell that story too. I'll talk about that. Hey, Rocky, welcome. 93 said if they have an unstable home, oh yes, this is in the inner city of Baltimore. I'm gonna tell y'all all about it. Juvie said, Jan, I need some advice from my home girl. Drop it below. Samia said, thank you. I also come from educated family, period, as well. My great aunt was an educator who always pushed education in our lives. Good. Um, Let me just drop this in really quickly and then I'll go back to taking up space and being heard. I was a TA for, I'm going to say 3 summers, and I only did it for the summertime when I was going to the university. And I worked at a school in the city. And one thing about it, those students I worked with, I believe it was middle school kids, they did not have a problem being vocal. But, and I know some of you probably may be surprised, every day I left that school, I cried. And it's not because, like I said, the kids lacked being vocal or speaking up. They definitely spoke up. But what they spoke on didn't bother them. Now, what I'm about to tell y'all, I'm not saying any of it to offend anyone. But someone told me, before I tell you what the kids would tell me, someone told me that I offended them how freely and openly I talk about DB and SA because I've gone through both. And I say if I speak any other way about it, I feel like it would still hurt me. I am a person who's still in therapy. Therapy helps. But if I didn't speak on it as if, girl, I didn't have my head rattled a few times too. If I didn't speak on it like that, it would hit differently. But a part of what she said is kind of like how these kids spoke on their trauma. So I'm gonna tell you 2 stories, one from a little girl and one from a little boy. The little girl, she came to school one day and, we would give them bag lunches. We would make the little bag lunches for the kids and stuff like that. And we was preparing the lunches. And she came in there and she was like, oh, yeah, my uncle got shot. And we was like, oh my goodness. We was like, oh my God, is everything okay? Did it just happen? Da da da. She said, oh, it was last night. And we was like, well, did you hear your family talking about it? She said, no, I saw it. Can I get a piece of candy? And I was just like, oh my God. Like it was just, it was just so free. And this is middle school, so free, so open. It was no pause. It was no reflect. It was no refrain. It was there. My uncle got shot. And I'm like, well, were you close? Did it die? Oh yeah, my uncle, my best friend, but he got shot. And I'm like, well, I'm just wondering, like, do I keep asking? Because I'm an assistant at this point. I'm the TA. So the teacher is like, well, we don't want to ask her any more questions about it because even though it does not look like she's traumatized, you know, it's a possibility that it is trauma there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just, give it a little snacks or whatever and, move on. So with the young man, this one was kind of wild because I don't know if it was a story time. I'm trying to remember correctly, but it was something we was reading. And oh, we were reading, and then they give him recess. Yes, so they was going outside. So he was standing on the fence outside. So I went out because I had to go out there with the kids. I was like, "Well, why you don't want to play with them?" He was like, "It's just a whole bunch of girls." It was like one of the days where more girls was in class than guys, and I was just like, "Well, you can play with them too." And he was like, "No, I can't." And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, if you can't, then, I said, what you want to do? You want to go back in or you just going to lean on the fence? He was just like, I can't do that. Why you say that? I said, well, what you mean? He said his family told him, boys don't play with girls. If girls want to play with him, he pushed them off of him and stuff like that. He don't, he not supposed to interact with girls. So I'm just like, well, did something happen? I'm very, I don't want to say I pry, but I just try to understand. So, not necessarily with him, but I guess he had an older brother, and he was basically saying his brother got in trouble for messing with a girl, and his family, his people don't want him to get in trouble for messing with girls. He said because girls lie. And I said, well, what you talking about? He said, because my brother got in trouble for messing with a girl and she lied on him. I said, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's trauma and it's like passed down. And then the kids kind of living their life going through it because in my mind, I still don't know what he could honestly be talking about because I didn't want to keep going. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna take either therapy or him, breaking a chain in his mind that girls are not liars, at least not all of them. That's what I would say. And that whatever happened between his older brother and, the girl at the time, he has to piece that together as he grows up. But I think a lot of parents maybe think kids don't know or kids aren't aware. Like the girl with the uncle who got shot, I think she said her family just told her go to bed because you're going to school tomorrow. Even though allegedly he was shot in the home. Like she said she heard the police there and everything. Yeah, the police was there, like very openly, very not afraid, very much so not hurt. Um, and speaking on that, now I can kind of see why that person said the way I speak on Deviant, I say, bothers them. But honestly, if I spoke about it any other way, it would bother me. I try to say it in a way that is kind of, I don't want to say glazed over because I will go into deeper details, but I don't want to go back in the moment of it because the moment in those moments is very shocking. Because once again, it goes back to not taking up much space and not being heard. I always thought being a minimal queen, not speaking too much, always focus on being pretty, don't take up a lot of space, minimal conversation. I always thought life would be lush. You see what I'm saying? When the first few attacks came, I just couldn't believe it. Like, and honestly, when I was younger, and it's I can own it now. Me and my homegirls used to laugh at the girls who got beat up. I remember a girl in high school we knew was getting dealt with. We used to make fun of her, ha ha. did she lose to the boys? Because back in the day, we used to jump boys who used to, want to fight girls. Get them, girl, get them, equal, get them, equal, get them, equal. You know what I'm saying? Beat them down as a group, of course, because guys be having hands. But now, as an adult, and then going through it, I was like, it's so different. And then it's like you don't. At least for me, I didn't hit back immediately. I was eating it because I just couldn't. It's like you love them, so it's like I'm so shocked. But then I had to remember that this low key was a trained, thing as well. So I'm like, okay, so I was kind of trained to deal with things in private and not really express it. I was kind of conditioned to not being heard and not taking up much space. It honestly took professors, once again, outside people, professors, teachers, noticing what was going on with me, and it got legal with the thing. Me first getting into therapy in the university, I had to take my restraining order to school, and not to make, not to put too much out there, but that was one of the areas he could not come to, so I had to let them know. So they got me into therapy. That therapist ended up sending me to another one, which I'm thankful for. But I really didn't see it. Honestly, I didn't see it as an issue because I didn't think I mattered. You see what I'm saying? I didn't see me getting dealt with, me getting handled, the police situation, the school. I didn't see it. Like, even when they wanted to get me in therapy, I was like, really, do I need it? I said, I have an exam coming up. And they looking at me like I'm insane because they like, how can you want to just keep living life and not take a moment to breathe? And I'm just like, I'm not really from that culture of taking a moment. I'm from the culture of, you done took that. You still got two arms, two legs. Go ahead about your business. And I'm definitely breaking that chain, honestly. But I appreciate them making it mandatory for me to at least go to one session, and I finished all of them because it ended up being helpful. And I honestly started to see myself more because there was a person there asking me about me. Well, how do you feel about that? Where did that take you? Where was your mind in that moment? Where was your body in that moment? How did you feel in that moment? Because the truth of the matter is, that's not the first time I was in a scuffle. I've been in plenty, but I didn't love them. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have sex with them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go out to dinner with them. I didn't party with them. I didn't travel with them. It was very odd when it first happened. But like I said, in my past, I've attracted a lot of energies that were kind of opposite of what I was, very vocal. You know what I'm saying? Very fragrant, very bright energies. And not to say all energies are like that, but I kind of see a trend now with those energies that sometimes they do things because they know this girl not gonna say nothing. We know this one, girl. It was so bad. At one point, it got public. But I know these stories could possibly help somebody else. So I was out at dinner, and y'all know me a little bit through the screen. The people who do follow the channel, I can be very bubbly, excitable, a happy-go-lucky person because I do try to dwell on the positives of life. So the person that was at the time maybe felt bubbly energy is flirtatious. Now I've heard that more and more through, social medias and videos. People say sometimes bubbly people seem overly flirty. I'm kind. So, we out at dinner and I'm, talking to wait staff. They serve your food. So you want to be kind to people. In my mind, this is how my mind works. You want to be nice to people who are handling your meals, your drink, your beverages. So I'm always kind, hey, how are you? What's your name? What you got a nickname? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm having fun. So I'm chatting with the guy and stuff, and all of a sudden it's a hand on my thigh, right? And the hand squeezes, and it squeezes tighter and tighter and tighter to the point that I just stopped talking and I just looked and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I just tried to play it off. So then I start talking again. This time we had the girl way to come over because one person was bringing the food. She was working with the drinks. Hey, girl, I like how your hair, girl, you look, that got some nice, you know what I'm saying? Just being real nice and sociable. All of a sudden, I'm getting pinched. It was to the point that I said, Jan, you really becoming like them Lifetime girls. You really becoming them girls that you used to laugh at back in the day. And I am getting a little teary eyed because I just never thought it would be me. I'm thinking I'm too much of a vocal diva, especially with my homegirls and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I would be the one always cracking jokes and stuff. I said, this can't be me. And of course, once we left dinner that night, I got handled in one of the worst ways. But I just finally, when I built up the courage to go, I did leave. It definitely got legal. I had to get some help from neighbors, but I managed to get away. But it's just so strange because in a way I was brought up to not speak, not take up space. But look what not speaking and not taking up space got me. This year alone, like I said, these past 6 months or whatever, since June or July, I've been way more vocal. I've been speaking up for myself. Even today, I have a story for y'all. Speaking up for myself. And even if people don't like it, they respect it. That's what I was missing. I was so programmed that if you stay quiet all the time when people mistreat you, girl, mess up your money. I used to be that type. People would mess up my money at the store, and I'd be like, well, maybe that's what I deserve. I used to always think that, girl, that's what you deserved. I never understood it, but like, that's why I wanted to make this video for like anyone who needs it. You are worthy of taking up space. You are worthy of being heard. Your voice is so important. It's only one of you. You know what I'm saying? It's only one of you. Mm. I'm gonna read a few comments, y'all, and then I'm gonna get back to it. Moody said, "Hey, Moody, thank you so much, Jan, for being so gracious and vocal. You have you have no idea how much all of this have helped me. I'm struggling with being vocal and setting boundaries. Yeah, yeah. When you able to do it, it's good. Hey, ZJ." 93 said, Jan, you are loved. Thank you, 93. I appreciate that. Juvie said, I hope this question doesn't make you uncomfortable, but I have gender dysphoria. Well, I think it's this dysphoria. And now I'm having my doubts. How old were you when you transitioned and how did you realize? Ooh, we're going to talk about that, Juvie. Miss Jenkins said, that's so true, Jan. You never expect it until it happens. Miss Jenkins said, so glad you made it out. Right. Yeah. And Judy, what's crazy is I don't even think that's the thing. I don't think I ever like officially, like you said, went through a transition. And like you said, you have this gender dysmorphia. And I think that's when you look at your body and you don't like your body. For me, it was more so the whole existence. You know what I'm saying? Was my thing that I wasn't comfortable with because I didn't feel like I fit into the world. I felt like it wasn't a space for me in a black community. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like it was a space for me in the LGBT community. I never fit in, anywhere because I felt like the people, and this is the thing, I felt like the ones I was around, I just didn't get. So it was never a moment where I felt like comfortable until like, I'll say this year. So I'll say 2024 is when I realized like I am worthy. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely say therapy helps with everything, and it's nice to have someone outside of your normal circle or your normal life whose purpose is to be dedicated to you and the understanding of you. You know, taking up space and being heard, that's a part of it. Because once you realize it's okay for you to be heard, you can realize who you are. When I first made my YouTube channel, I used to mostly discuss my dating life and who I was going out with, and I would do reviews slightly. It wasn't really until Baddies took off where I kind of focused on reviews mostly. But like I used to always talk about dates and stuff like that because I felt like that's what people wanted from me. I was always serving, you know what I'm saying? Juvie serve you. What we're given, we can manage. I'm not a psych, professional, and I'm not a person who knows everything in this world. But I really do believe what we're given. If this isn't heaven, you know what I'm saying? Then this is the plane where we have to figure some things out. What we're given, I feel like in a lot of ways are tests to see what we can overcome. A few years ago, I never thought I would be talking about this stuff again. But you gotta be able to overcome. And I'm not gonna say it's gonna be overnight. You're just gonna figure things out overnight. You're just gonna understand overnight. This life is a journey. It's not a destination. The destination is when you finally pass. You see what I'm saying? Or transition out of the world. It's a journey. So every day, I do my countdowns, I do my meditations because every day is kind of like a restart, if you will. Every day is your journey to figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. Today will I let my this dysphoria deal with me? Today will I let my mind get the best of me? No, this you control your mind. You take control of it. And I really do think sometimes what comes with dysphoria and things like that is society or other people's expectations. Either society, and when I say that, it could be celebrity, it could be social media, it could be your job. You know what I'm saying? It could be your university, your campus, your neighborhood, whatever is deemed what they say acceptable and unacceptable. Sometimes people base their lives on that. Well, what's acceptable? What's unacceptable? And what box do I fit in? Well, girl, I feel like I don't fit into any box. None. It's your home, girl. I feel like I don't fit any. I used to always not get why I never fit in. But look, girl, this is what I figured out. I accepted me. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Not too long ago, I went to a house party. And that used to be one of my biggest things, girl. Hotel parties and house parties. Oh, I used to hate them. And the club for the most part. But this recent one I went to, I had a blast. Why? Because I finally love me. I wasn't worried about what nobody else thought. I was in there dancing, grooving, doing my thing, having fun, participating in games. I did not have in my mind that I'm being prejudged. Someone's critiquing my nails, someone's critiquing my hair, someone's critiquing my shoes. 93, no, I don't see any messages held for review. But look, I had the most fun ever because I was not focused on that. I was not focused on what other people think because what other people think, I have no control over. You see what I'm saying? What other people think of me is none of my business. If people aren't going to be vocal with you, it doesn't matter. I had one of the best times ever. I felt accomplished. And at the end of that night, I even told them, I said, yo, I'm so grown. And I said, this is like the most fun I've had at a group gathering ever. Because I was just not worried about it. Because my thing is this, no one's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So it really does not matter. The only thing that matters is, do you love you? Do you see that you're doing the best you can with what you got? Do you see yourself as being worthy of taking up space? Do you see yourself as worthy of being heard? This is what I wanted to tell you guys today, the story of what happened today. I had a situation in my apartment. And most of the time, I let a lot of stuff pass because I feel like, well, girl, you don't want to rock the boat too much because they throw you out in the streets, and you wanna, you don't really have nobody else to go to and stuff like that. But I didn't hold back today. And my biggest fear, especially when you go against an establishment where, you may live or you may work, girl, I've even gone up against companies and jobs. But the thing about a job, which I don't mind going head to head with jobs and stuff, is because with a job, you can get another one. You see what I'm saying? Even with a place to live, you can get another one, but if you don't got heavy coin, not as fast. But I had an issue. And in the past, I would never say anything about it. But this new mindset I told you I'm in, I just didn't care. I let it be known that what was going on was inappropriate. I followed up with photos. I followed up with, of course, very professional speech in an email, phone call, and email. And I said, this is very much so unacceptable. And the thing is, I still have moments in my life where I'm like, is this right? Even at that party. I want to say like three little moments where I felt like, is this right? Is this wrong? But this is the thing. This is how you're going to feel if this is right or if this is wrong. You'll know something is wrong in your growth and your healing journey and your stage of setting boundaries if you feel yourself reverting back. If you feel yourself going mute for someone else, if you feel yourself holding your tongue for someone else, if you feel yourself being a lackey, a flunky, you know what I'm saying? A follow the leader asshole. If you feel yourself going back to that, then you know it's something going on. You may not necessarily think there's something wrong with that person, but it's something in you that's being triggered. That's how you know that. It was like a few moments at that party I felt that, but I snapped out of it. I got on my head. And one way that I get out my head, and you guys are perfectly welcome to use this, is I have to start to name stuff that's in the space I'm in. I have to say, oh, that's a plant right there. Oh, I'm in so and so's house right now. Oh, this is a mirror that's right next to me. I have to get out of my head because I can't go back to what that is. And even when I had that phone call and after I got off and then I sent the email, it was a moment where I said, girl, what you gonna do if the people rain down on you? I said to myself, I deserve to take up space and be heard. Whatever anyone wants to bring up against me, I'm strong enough to deal with because I no longer think I'm going through this life alone. I don't believe that anything that's put in front of me I cannot handle. I used to think that life was a big bully and I was just going to be bullied until it was time to go ahead and do the graveyard shift. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. I feel like it's a journey and it's a series of lessons because guess what came after that? After I did the call and stuff with my apartment, the leasing office and all that, I got a follow up email and everything. Talk about thank you for vocalizing this. We'll take care of this. They came, they took care of that. They came up there, made sure I was good, wanted to know about anything else. And that was the last reaction I thought I would get. What I'm seeing in 2024, which I will be carrying in 2025, being vocal, being heard, and taking up space is not a negative, especially if you're not being mean and snarly. If you're not purposely trying to ruin someone's day, if you're purposely not, oh, I'm just gonna challenge this person because I just want to feel big and bad today. If I'm speaking up, if I'm look, that's what I'm saying. I used to be so bad with it that if I sat down in a chair and then it was a screw or a nail sitting in a chair and it was poking me in my butt, y'all know I would sit there until whatever program movie is over with and just pray I don't have a wound by the end of the night. I remember I did that with a pair of heels. Something was poking me right in my toe, and when I got home, my toe was gashed open real bad. I'm at the point now that if I'm sitting on a screw, I'm gonna get up, either move the screw. If it's embedded, I will request a new chair because I was not placed on this planet to be a lesser. I was placed here to be equal just like everyone else. And I know equality, is different in everyone's eyes, but I will have my slice of the cake. You hear what I'm saying? And I did not always think that. I used to think that that was wrong. Who are you to think that you deserve what this person get, to deserve what this person get? But all I want to do is live and live a comfortable life just like everyone else. My journey is for me. My problems are for me, but I will not accept lesser. It's just not going to happen anymore. For my love for myself and my benefit for my future, I cannot accept that anymore. I see what it has gotten me so far. Am I happy with what? Not speaking up, sitting back, being the wallflower, not taking up a lot of space has given me. And I can honestly say no. What will being vocal, standing up for self, acknowledging myself, loving on myself, what would that do for me? I look forward to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know because it's so new, but it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. And the thing is, I think a big fear of mine was the outcome. I always knew what the outcome was, not saying anything. Come on. I mean, if you play along, you won't get along. You see what I'm saying? But what is the outcome going to be when you're vocal? Oh, I've been loving it because every outcome has been different. I don't think we have success in life if we imagine life to be pre-programmed. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of operating in that mindset that, I was this, NPC walking around and I'm always going to be, that. And I remember one day I was getting on the metro going, it's like an underground train. We call it the metro. I was getting on there and this guy saw me and he kept staring at me. He kept staring at me and he was like, he said, "Are you the main character?" And I bust out laughing. And guess what I said? I said, "Yes, I am." And he did this little hand thing and he said, "So cool," like that. And I was like, "Girl," I said, "You better own it. You better own who you are because you are a star." And I remember seeing this movie. Oh, it might was The Princess and the Frog when people transition and you looked up in the sky. It was like you would see a new star in the sky like that. And I really do think like life is a test for a lot of us. It's like either you're gonna break the cycle or you're gonna keep the cycle going, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I just feel like that's what life really is. Like it's a series of events. In life we only have moments. And in those moments you have to decide what you're gonna do. Are you going to play it safe and settle for the safe outcome? Or are you going to do something different? I've been doing stuff different and I've been loving it. I've been having a blast. It's been so much fun and having a reset in life is different. I'm not going to say like in the beginning I was so happy because it was very emotional in the beginning. When you lose your whole circle completely, like people you used to talking to, relying on, communicating with, and you're back to square one, which is simply you, it can be frightening for some. But for me, I've just realized that I'm meeting new people. I'm finding new people. I'm seeing new people. I'm finding new energy. And I've been receiving gifts. Been receiving gifts. I've been receiving invites. I've been receiving so much from just not opening up to people, but also opening up to myself. I didn't know who I was. I accepted who people told me I was because I figured they knew me better than me. This is even older people, younger people my age. I felt like, well, they must know something I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, life is so confusing. It really is. Like, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And it's like, I don't even say that anymore. I say, girls, figure it out. Excuse me, figure it out. Because that same brain that was being used by others can be used by yourself. Hmm. Yeah. The question, I'm not sure, is a troll or genuine question due to the topic. It could be a troll. You did the right thing. January, I didn't. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jan. You're my favorite homegirl. Lori, Lori said maybe I missed you explain it, but was you like that? I see what you said. Yeah. This live isn't all about that, so I'm not really gonna focus on that. So hopefully you respect that. But yeah, it's a lot going on, y'all, and I feel like I found a part of my voice. I'm not gonna say I found my whole being, but I'm definitely gonna say that I found a part of it. And like to me, I feel like it's the first step. The conversation I have had with the young woman Janice, she just was bringing so much clarity to me. That's why I tell y'all, people who watch the channel or listen to the podcast, that's why I tell y'all, like, have your own voice. I didn't even think that me approving of other people's behaviors, approving of other people's antics was a form of manipulation. I thought that was the right thing to do. But said Poppy, if you have any questions, the first video on this channel, if you go click oldest day one, video one, I explain everything. For anyone who's curious about that, and if that's what you want to focus on, go to the videos, click oldest, day one, video one. You know, I'm not hiding it, but it's just not, to me, it's not the biggest part of my life. You know what I'm saying? I know to some people it is, but sometimes I still feel like I'm black before anything. But it is what it is. I just really wanted to express that to you all tonight, that you do deserve to take up space and you do deserve to be heard. It's not easy, especially if you are in an environment where you cannot express yourself, if you feel as though you cannot be heard, and especially if you feel like it's inescapable. But you have to understand, it's it's just a challenge. And what is a challenge? Challenges are not something that's unbeatable, undefeatable. You can get past it, Paul. You can really get past it. It's so much things that in this life that we can figure out. Even if you feel as though you cannot figure it out on your own, that's why we have other people in the world. A lot of people focus on me, 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 me. But if you flip that M to a W, it's we. I was so dependent on the circle, those 10, 12 people I kept around me, that I felt like outside of them, it was no one else. But ever since, like I said, these past 6 months or so, so many people have helped me that all I had to do was open my mouth. All I had to do was ask for help. Oh, I don't understand what this bill is. I will run to so and so, run to this person. But now I just call a number on a paper, speak to the people about it. Medically, I'm talking to the people, asking them questions, finding out things. In the neighborhood, now I'm talking to people, finding out things and this and that. I'm starting to see that the me mindset could easily be flipped to we. Like, community is a very powerful thing, and community is bigger than what people think. I know a lot of people are, and I will say this, pre-programmed to think certain ways, because so was I. I may have been born of, but that doesn't limit me to. I may have been born in, but that doesn't limit me to. The world is so big, but sometimes the mind is so small. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm now seeing that, like, I'm being blessed with so many things from just finally being vocal. When I was silent, who knew you were suffering? Oh my God, no, oh my God, I had no idea. Da, 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 da. Because I was so focused on, oh girl, they gonna talk about you. They gonna talk about you real bad. They gonna be judging you. They gonna drag you. Da 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 da. Girl, you ain't gonna never hear the end of it. What's meant for me will be for me. And if that did happen, guess what I learned from it? Guess what? I learned they weren't for me. You get no love from me. I think fear is a big tactic why people decide to stay quiet and stay small. Fear, like I said, fear of an outcome. You know what I'm saying? But you keep going. You keep talking. You keep finding solutions for yourself because look, you can talk to three people about your problems and all of them laugh. You feeling defeated, man. I didn't talk to three different people. I'm hungry. I need somewhere to stay. I need, my shoes got holes in them, man. And you start getting mad. But you don't give up on yourself because you got to believe this when I say this. You are your first and last friend. You are your first and last friend. And you have to have faith in yourself amongst anything else. You hear me? You keep telling your story because it's going to be that one person, maybe the fourth, fifth person you tell your story to. Well, you know what? I got some shoes your size. Come on, I've been giving away shoes. You know what? I got a cellar full of food. I might can help you out. Oh, you know what? I was getting ready, get rid of this car. I'll help you out with it. You cannot give up on yourself. When people who are wearing masks decide to laugh at you, make fun of you, and put you down, they're not for you. They're not even for themselves. A lot of people wear masks every day of their lives. So to some people, you are just a source of entertainment, but to some other people, you're a real person. Your problems are not the world's problems. So if you feel like you do open up to people and they just aren't connecting to you, don't stop because you will find the right people you're supposed to connect to. That's why you keep talking. That's why you have a mouth to speak with, hands to gesture with, you know what I'm saying? Arms to hug with, you know what I'm saying? Like you keep going because you don't know who you can impact. And you may not think that your story isn't impactful, but you don't know, like I said, who could either change your life or whose life you could change with your story. So you got to keep living. Do not minimize yourself for anyone else. And do not be afraid of being heard, okay? Yeah. Um, Lou Red said, I was asking why you were so afraid to be yourself, not about a transition, sorry. Oh no. So that thing I because look, I thought I was being myself. This the thing, Lou Red. Growing up, when I used to be really vocal and like everybody used to say, oh, you hurt people's feelings and why you always telling people the truth? I thought that that was wrong. So I have spent so many years being quiet and being, a minimalist that I kind of thought that was me, the happy helper. But now that I've reconnected with my childlike self, I've realized that when I was born, I knew who I was. I was in the know. You see what I'm saying? But people kind of broke that down and kind of maybe locked it away because it was too real. You got to understand when you hold a mirror on other people, not everybody likes that. And you also need to understand this if you operate in a form of light, you will be surrounded by darkness. And I mean that. And not everybody will like your light. So they will say, well, why would you tell them that? And you say, well, isn't it true? Yeah, but you don't tell them that. Why not if it can help someone? Yep, it's about the tenacity of the human spirit. Yep. Jan, you are awesome. Thank you, Mr. 93. I appreciate that. Yep, I just felt compelled to just get on and talk tonight. I don't know. I definitely feel like something's changing in me. I don't know wholly what it is, but I can definitely feel a change. And like I said, a big part of it is me feeling way more compelled to be vocal, me not being afraid to take up space. And the thing is, I used to think of asking for anything was too much. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. You matter too. I know that may sound corny, but it's the truth. You matter too. You are not less of a person. You are not, you know what I'm saying, a backseat person. You know what I'm saying? You are worthy of everything. And look, even some people who say, well, Jan, I am the wallflower, I am this and that, then it's nothing wrong with that. It's plenty of people who are themselves and that is who they are. They are, that. But for me, I knew that I was wearing a mask. This is like my journey. You know what I'm saying? If you connect to it, then you connect. But this is my journey, and I definitely was wearing a mask because I was people pleasing. This is how this whole journey even started because I was people pleasing. Hmm. Yep. And I was people pleasing. I was worried about making everybody in this world happy because I felt like that's what you do. You give up of yourself to help the world. And I still do that, but I consider me. I didn't consider me before. I consider me now. And I'm kind of doing a cleansing because it's been so long where I was doing for others and did not consider my own feelings and did not consider my own thoughts. So some people see what I'm doing as being selfish because they don't understand. But my journey is not meant for other people to understand, just like I never understood theirs. I mentioned earlier in this video how I saw everyone clearly, but I just hoped they would change. That was wrong of me. And I can say that. I cannot influence someone to change. You have to want to change on your own. Just like I went through a change. If certain people say that they don't get it and this is just not making sense and this and that, it's not meant to, Pooh. It never was. My journey is for me and it will always be a continuous journey. Thank you. You were a lesson. And it is just what it is. I've seen who you are. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't like that. Like I was mentioning earlier about being a walking mirror. A lot of people don't like it. And I'm sure some of y'all realize this. A lot of people don't like it. And y'all can look in people's eyes and realize when you figure them out. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people love to live behind the veil or live with the mask on. And when you're someone who's finally peeked through that veil or cracked that mask, they will not favor you. Some get violent. Some go on campaigns to, throw salt on your name. Some may go as far to try to get you fired. You know what I'm saying? Deface your car, deface your home. It's a lot of things people do when you just reveal who they are. And it doesn't even have to be malicious. But I see you and I don't prefer your energy. And for that reason alone, people will see you as a negative, which can cause confusion to some people in their journey because it's like, oh man, all these people are now gravitating away from me. All these people no longer get me. But at one point they was all around me. Oh man, it must be me. I'm doing something wrong. Oh man, I gotta figure this out. No, this is your journey. Life, if you look at life from the point of a plant, we start as a seedling, turn into roots, grow up, you get a little stalk. grow up. You get a few branches, leaves, you know what I'm saying? Few flowers, few petals, you know what I'm saying? You keep going. You keep going and you keep growing. But look, sometimes you lose branches, leaves, you know what I'm saying? But does that mean you wither away? No, you keep growing because you will get more branches, more leaves. Thank you, Mr. 93. I'm reading your comments. You said going through a morphing phase as well, self-aware, be vocal in positive tone, speaking with clarity. Yes, I feel you, Jan. Yes. Oh, Jan, you preaching to the choir. You said I used to be 350 pounds in 2019. I started to put me first, and now I'm 210. Da, 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 da. You see what I'm saying? That's beautiful. Oh, and I lost weight too after I let people go. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, see, people don't get it. I lost weight. Like I said on the other video, my teeth got healthier, my skin got healthier. Like my doctors were so amazed. But like people around you can be the toxicity, can be the disease, can be the cancer. You know what I'm saying? But get this, cancer can't survive without you. When the body dies, the cancer dies. When you remove yourself from them people, so like I said, some of them won't get it. They won't get it, but you just got to keep going. You said love is self-love is real. Yes, it is. You said PMP, protecting my peace. I love that. PMP. PMP. Yes, protecting my peace. Yes, Jan, you get one life. Yep. And you gotta live it to the fullest. And I'm continuing my journey, and you all have to continue your journey as well. You keep in mind that you are worthy of taking up space, you are worthy of being heard. And honestly, this whole um YouTube, thing is still interesting for me because like I said, I never thought I would be so vocal. You know what I'm saying? I always notice a deeper detail, but I never thought it. And even now, I've realized how important my opinions are because it wouldn't be so many entities and energies trying to silence me if what I said wasn't something. Why would people want to report, ban, block, stop someone whose opinion didn't matter? You see what I'm saying? Hmm. Sometimes I have to think about that because it's easy for me, I'm not going to say everyone, but it was easy for me to put a lot of pressure on myself and say that, it's just not meant to be because so many people are against me. You got a network against you, you got the platform against you, you got other creators against you. It's just not meant to be. But then I had to think, girl, it must be meant to be. Because why would a whole network, a whole platform, and people who have more followers than you work so hard to make you be quiet when all you're doing is sharing your thoughts? I said, you must be a bad bitch for people to want to do all that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm learning to big me up. I'm learning to be the cheerleader to myself that I was for everybody else. You heard me? Because I always was in everyone corner rooting for them, bigging them up, wishing the best for them. Now I'm doing it for me. What's meant for me will be for me. And everything that goes around comes around. Miss Karma. She is real. So I'm always going to continue to big me up. I'm going to continue to fill my bag with love and light and hope and nourishment because that's what I got to do. I got to be my biggest cheerleader because no one's going to root for you as loud as you're going to root for yourself. No one's going to campaign for you harder than you're going to campaign for yourself. And ultimately, no one's going to love you as much as you should love yourself. You know what I'm talking about? It's a beautiful thing to break chains, to break cycles, to realize you are bigger than any of your worries or concerns. Life isn't against you. It's here to teach you because it's something you need to learn. You just keep running into these walls. You just keep getting stopped. You just keep getting blocked. What is going on? Do you give up or do you figure out another way? Think about it like using a bathroom. Yup. You got pee real bad. It's a long line. Damn. You got pee real bad. What you gonna do? Wait in this line and you know you gotta go, or you gonna find another way? Which means either going into the other available bathroom that got a shorter line, going outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you fold? That's my thing. Do you fold up? Because that's the question. What you gonna do? You gonna pee on yourself and gotta walk around with that? I mean, that's one option, but is it the best option? You gotta do what you gotta do for you. Figure it out. Life isn't gonna stop giving you problems. Rich people got problems, poor people got problems. It's not gonna stop because it's always something you gotta learn. And sometimes life will throw you a curveball to see if you're using the lessons that you have learned. Let me throw this at you. Let me throw this at you. Woo, woo. See what you're gonna do with that. Just to see if you implementing your lessons. And it's not to say every day gonna be a race. No. Life is full of peaceful moments, and that's what you gotta live in the moment. Grab your moment, grab your peace, grab your harmony and live in it. Because that's for you. Whether it's sitting out on the grass and just breathing the fresh air, whether it's watching your beautiful family, beautiful children play, whether it's cooking a beautiful meal, watching your pets, watching your favorite program, going to the beach, bopping down the street, you know what I'm saying? Living your peaceful moments because that's what all of us have our moments. I appreciate y'all listening too. Yeah. Thank you, 93. You said amen. You funny. You said let them know. A lot of people don't realize that your biggest enemy will be family. Yes. Oh, Lord. Some people born into it. Yeah. You're born into it. Some people don't realize that. Some people realize it late. Some people never realize it at all. That the people stopping them was right beside them. But I just want to put this reference out for people who may or may not notice that. Have y'all ever noticed sometimes a stranger can be kinder to you than people that have known you for years? Just hold on to little thoughts like that for people who may have been taught, don't talk to outside people, don't tell nobody your business and this and that. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. That was the wind, if you heard that outside the window. Um, about that statement about strangers being nicer than you. And some people with that say, well, I don't know what they say when you walk away. It's once again, like I said earlier, it's not meant for us to be in people's head. Once you get out these head games, you'll be fine. Stop being worried about what people think. If no one's vocalizing to you how they feel, what they think in their head should not matter to you. Say it to my face, who you know what I'm saying? What they say in their mind is not even for you, it's for them. Take your blessings and be happy. If somebody wants to help you, let them. You don't even got to question it. I've stopped questioning it and received so much. I've stopped questioning why. I used to always say, well, why you want to help me? Why? Why? After all this time that I've tried, girl, why? Stop asking why and start accepting. When you become receptive, you receive more. I was blocking everything. I was like a walking block emoji. I ain't doing it. But now I'm being so, you know, I'm in a mindset of receiving. Everything I love flows to me abundantly. You know what I'm talking about? It? Yes. January, you need this? Absolutely. Jan, would you like? Absolutely. Jan, I wanted to give, thank you. I'm in a mindset of receiving. Everything I love flows towards me. Everything I love wants me. And I'm going to leave y'all with that one because I've been chatting. It's going on 3 hours. But I want y'all to have a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. What's today? Wednesday? Child, tomorrow is Thursday, child. I'm gonna be working late too, but I still want y'all to have a wonderful week, wonderful weekend, happy holidays. Hey y'all. Yup, and I appreciate everyone who joined me on the live. And I also want to give a shout out to everyone who's going to watch on the replay. This is a playlist, so if anyone wants to check out any of the other episodes or season one, because this is season 2 of Homegirl I Need Love, you're perfectly welcome to it. If you received anything from this, you're perfectly welcome to that. I see you in the next one. I still have to figure out where I'm going with this whole social media thing and things like that. A part of me wanted to step away, but I think segments like this keeps me in tune. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But yeah, thank you all, and I will see you on the next one. But before I go, remember this. Do the best you can with what you got, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.